Way up north, to Alaska. Way up north, to Alaska. North to Alaska.
From 1893 to 1896, the U.S. suffered its worst financial crisis to date. 25% of the nation's workforce was unemployed, and there was a run on the U.S. gold supply as people tried to exchange their silver notes for gold. U.S. gold reserves ran low, and silver values fell. By 1896, over 500 banks and 15,000 companies, including most major railroads, had failed. Meanwhile, alongside Rabbit Creek in the Dawson City area of Canada's Yukon Territory, 3 prospectors struck gold. Using nothing more than their gold pans, Snookum Jim Mason, George Washington Carmack, and Tagish Charlie are credited as having started the Klondike Gold Rush. It didn't take long for news to spread to the other prospectors in the local area, and the Klondike Stampeders rushed toward their newly named Bonanza Creek. Word of the gold strike, however, would not reach the United States until almost a year later due to the harsh winter weathers of the Yukon. On July 14, 1897, the Excelsior docked in San Francisco with less than 40 passengers, yet with over $500,000 in gold. News spread quickly to Seattle, where the steamship the Portland was due to arrive, and the Seattle Post-Intelligencer quickly sailed out to scoop the story as the ship sailed into port. Thousands cheered, "Show us the gold," as the Portland docked on July 17, 1897, unloading over a ton of gold. The gold rush had begun. Within days, people had quit their jobs, mortgaged their homes, and left their families to head north and strike it rich. News quickly spread to all corners, and the Boston Globe even published over 40 articles in just 2 weeks. Thousands traveled by railway to the West Coast ports to board ships headed to Skagway and St. Michael's. The first boatload of prospectors landed in Skagway on July 26, 1897. They gathered together their provisions as required by the Canadian government and set off towards either White Pass or Chilkoot Pass. Either trail was perilous, claiming the lives of many hopeful stampeders and countless livestock animals. Each prospector then grouped together his required 1-year supply at the foot of the pass, and then carried his supplies to the top. 1,500 steps up, slide back down, and repeat this process until his entire inventory was approved by the Royal Mounted Police awaiting at the top. After a quicker trek down the other side, the stampeders arrived at Lake Bennett, British Columbia. Here they constructed boats and rafts to float the upper Yukon River's 500 miles of treacherous rapids into Dawson City. For many prospectors, arrival into Dawson City was a disappointment. After months of travel, most arrived only to learn that all the significant gold claims had already been staked by locals long before the news had even reached the U.S. Some prospectors found new claims, some worked for other miners, some moved towards Alaska's gold districts, while others just went back home, buzzed from the whole experience. Albert Henry Woods was one such early Klondike stampeder, fortunate enough to stake and work his own claim. Albert was a descendant of early New England settlers and Revolutionary War patriots. He himself had served in the Civil War as a teenager under Colonel Theodore Lyman. 2 of Albert's sons, George Washington and Alfred Lyman Woods, worked the gold claims with their father, with varying degrees of success according to the local newspapers. Albert eventually returned to Brookline, Massachusetts to be with his wife and children, while Alfred Lyman Woods remained in Alaska, where he married an Athabascan woman, had 6 children, and worked the Rampart postal route, among other jobs. Of the more than 100,000 Klondike stampeders who attempted the journey to the northern gold fields, less than 25% ever even made it to their destination, and far less even stayed. Albert Henry Woods' historic journey in 1897 is now shared by his nearly 200 descendants through 7 generations. A story which we hope to help preserve for future generations. His adventure north to the future.
North to Alaska, go north, the rush is on. North to Alaska, go north, the rush is on. Way up north, to Alaska. Way up north, to Alaska. Way up north.